me sit down. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right, thank you. Welcome to our celebration today of the White Coat Ceremony for the PA class of 2025. I am Dr. Jeannie McHugo, and I serve as professor and chair in the Department of PA Studies at the School of Medicine and Health Sciences here at the University of North Dakota. It's so wonderful to be here today with all of you, family, friends, and loved ones, to honor and celebrate our students as they are welcomed into the medical community by the formal presentation of their professional white coats. Thank you so much for making the drive, for walking across the campus, for coming from other states to be present with us today. And for those joining us online, thank you for tuning in and celebrating with us as well. In May of last year, these 33 students began a brand new adventure. They chose to forge a new path and become a part of a new profession, an exciting profession of growth and expansion. In fact, for the 7th year running, PA has been named by the U.S. News and World Report as one of the top 5 jobs across all occupations. This speaks to the essential role that PAs play in strengthening our healthcare system by delivering excellent, high-quality patient care. The United States Bureau of Labor Statistics projects a 27% employment growth in the next 10 years. Being a PA student is an exciting place to be. Our celebration today marks the transition of the student from the study of preclinical to clinical health sciences. Advancing on the foundation of anatomy, physiology, pathophysiology, and pharmacology, students now grow in the area of clinical medicine, including history and physical exam, differential diagnosis and treatment and management of patients. This is a big step, one of incredible responsibility in building trusting relationships with their patients, the families, and the members of the healthcare team. Over the past couple of weeks, we have discussed characteristics of effective leadership, the importance and identification of our own values, finding our own voice, and the intersection of leadership and professionalism. Students, grounded in their identified values, formulated a shared vision, collaborating with others to develop their own group statements of professionalism. They grappled with the foundational ethical tenets of autonomy, beneficence, non-maleficence, and justice, and they recognized expectations stated in our professional competencies. They've also learned about the importance of well-being. They've learned about the stress bucket, and that self-care is not selfish. In weeks ahead, we will have more conversations around the notion that if you don't make time for your own wellness, you may be forced to make time for your own illness. And as a healthcare provider, it's important to role model healthy behaviors for our patients and our team members. This is challenging with the demands of patient schedules, preceptor expectations, program requirements, and balancing with time for study, family, and more. Students also studied oaths and pledges and had great dialogue about the purpose, content, and relevancy of the oath they will take today. They recognize that oath statements are altruistic and idealistic in setting a standard of care, and yet must be made meaningful with actions behind those words. Students were encouraged to keep this oath nearby, to refresh on the difficult days, and to remind them why they chose to do this good work. The ceremony and recitation of the oath today, in some way, serves as a rite of passage in the journey towards a new career as a PA. In participation today, the impression is of entry into a contract in which you, as future healthcare providers, accept the obligation to the PA profession to respect the health, safety, welfare, and dignity of all human beings, and to provide high-quality, accessible healthcare for all. Students, as you reflect on these conversations and declare your oath this afternoon, make this moment of commitment significant on a deeper level than reciting the words. Promise to incorporate these actions behind the words for your patients, for their families, and for you. With that, I'm confident you will find your new career meaningful, purposeful, and ultimately so rewarding. I'd like to welcome Dr. Ken Ruitt to the podium to share words of wisdom and welcome. Ken serves as our Senior Associate Dean for Education, Medical Accreditation, and Faculty Affairs with the School of Medicine and Health Sciences. Dr. Ruitt.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm honored to be present here with you today. And I'm always inspired by the white coat ceremonies that we hold at UND's School of Medicine and Health Sciences for our students. I trust what I see today and hear this afternoon will again inspire me, as I'm sure it will you as you witness what happens here this afternoon. You know, for as much inspiration as we draw from events like this, there have been those that have been critical of white coat ceremonies. Some think that we hang these coats on students too early, that we're identifying them as professionals when they're not yet fully trained professionals. Or they argue that the oath that you're going to hear taken here this afternoon isn't legitimate because students aren't likely to have reviewed it or reflected on that oath before they picked it up and recited it here today, or because students are somehow unlikely to understand it or its implications. Another criticism is that the white coat ceremony identifies the student more with a privileged, even elitist institution or group of professionals who have some special calling, and less with the communities and the patients they serve. So they argue what we're effectively doing this afternoon is promoting that privileged, elitist attitude, almost a club culture. Respectfully, I take issue with these criticisms. The oath we're going to hear taken today that Dr. McHugo has already alluded to is not too intellectually taxing for adults to understand, and it represents what we would expect each of these students would be happy to affirm as learners and as professionals. The intention is to enhance new healthcare professionals' understanding of their special responsibilities to their patients and their potential patients. And I would argue, let healthcare professionals strengthen, not diminish, that sense of their special calling, which indeed they have, their awareness of their special obligations to their patients and the communities that they serve. We're affirming that here this afternoon in the presence of faculty and family and friends. What we're doing here this afternoon is the right thing to do. So on behalf of Dean Joshua Wynn and the faculty and staff and students of the UND School of Medicine and Health Sciences, I welcome you here this afternoon and express our thanks for all of your support to these dedicated learners that we're honoring here this afternoon. And students, our best wishes to you as you wear these white coats and carry out the responsibilities you have to your patients. You are committing to that publicly here this afternoon. Again, thank you very much and welcome.
Also here to share words of welcome, Dr. Chris Nelson, who serves as the Dean of the UND School of Graduate Studies. Dr. Nelson.
Thank God she didn't say wisdom. All right. To speak to a bit of what Dr. Ruitt said, I'm a big fan of not only this program, but ceremonies like this. And one of the reasons that I am a big fan of ceremonies like this is precisely its emphasis on professionalism. Professionalism is so important to any workplace, to the smooth functioning of any graduate program. It makes a big difference. And it's something that in some ways one might see as in decline. Many of the problems, and sometimes there seem to be more of them, that make it to my office are often breakdowns of professionalism. So I'm a big fan of what this symbolizes, and the earlier, I think, we emphasize that need for professionalism, the better. But what I want to just take a few minutes, you gave me an hour, right, Jeannie? Oh. Well, there goes, all right. So I'm going to raise 4 sets of questions, and these come from a speaker that we brought in as part of our Accelerate to Industry program, an alumnus, Angie Freeman. I don't know if anybody might have been at the graduation ceremonies that she attended for us and spoke at. But she's a chief HR officer at a global company of 20,000 employees. And I'm going to give these 4 sets of questions to you because to me, they get at, you have the symbol of professionalism, and that's good. But you have to decide, not only now and throughout your education, but when you take your jobs, what kind of professional am I going to be? How am I going to practice that professionalism on a daily basis with my colleagues, with my friends, with my patients, right? Now, Angie refers to these as power skills. And so these are things that are outside perhaps of your technical knowledge, but they get at how you work with people. So the first one she refers to as learning agility. Can you handle change and continuously adapt? Are you committed to continuous learning from multiple sources of information? Are you able to quickly take in new information and adapt it to your work for continuous improvement? Think about all that's happening in terms of medical research and how you'll need to stay up to date, right? Might even go to things as simple as changing insurance policies and practices and such. Medicine itself is constantly changing. How will you respond to that as a professional? The second she refers to as change agility. How do you approach or look at the world? How do you think about things? This is not about ideology. This is about, are you a critical thinker? Do you have and regularly use analytical skills needed to detect patterns, to theorize, to observe, to make decisions while looking at multiple factors and balancing multiple inputs? Can you regularly demonstrate creativity? Can you innovate? Can you devise new ways of solving problems, moving beyond the usual assumptions and traditional ways of doing things? What happens, for example, in your practice when you get those patients that present with something out of the norm, or they don't respond to the normal courses of treatment? How will you respond to those challenges as a professional? The third is communication agility. How well do you communicate? Are you able to be persuasive, to articulate ideas, to convince others? Are you able to harness your communication skills to enable and enhance collaboration and teamwork, to get everybody on the same page and working towards the same goals? Convincing patients to follow medical advice is not always easy, especially in these days when there's all sorts of information available to them, right? How will you handle those communication challenges and get them to follow your medical advice. Finally, people agility. How do you relate to others? Can you manage people? Can you build and strengthen relationships? Almost everything that I do in my job depends on relationships that I've built. It makes a huge difference. Are you able to give effective and constructive feedback? Are you a collaborator? Can you build trust? Along these lines, can you practice empathy? Are you able to understand people and their needs to enable them to succeed and, for your patients, to improve their health and their well-being? This skill, I think, will be regularly tested for many of you. When a patient comes in and they've read something on the internet and they have a certain set of symptoms and they've decided it means it's an exotic disease, how are you going to communicate with them? How are you going to treat them professionally based on what they're coming to you with? How will you build working relationships with colleagues whose practices and approaches to patient care are different from yours in your working environment? So I'll end by saying that the PA program here is outstanding. I never hear anything about it, and in my job, that's a good thing. That means everything's going well. I know that our dedicated faculty, director of the program, are giving you the strongest possible foundation to go out and succeed as working professionals. But it'll be how you respond to these challenges, how you answer the questions that I just put to you, that will tell the tale of what kind of a professional you will be. So think about those things as you move on. And I'll end with, somebody asked me why I would not be at the Kevin O'Leary talk today. Shark Tank guy, right? Well, I said, I gotta go talk to new physician assistants candidates. And they said, immediately, physician assistants are rock stars. Yes. So be rock stars, but do it professionally.
Next, I'll introduce Dr. Jay Metzger to come on stage and welcome our guest speaker, Kayla Olson.
Making me feel bad. All right, so our guest speaker today is Kayla Olson. She's a PA. She was raised in Mott, North Dakota, and attended UND for her undergraduate degree in biology and clinical lab science. After graduating from UND, Kayla worked as a medical lab scientist for about 2.5 years before furthering her education and earning her MPAS at the University of South Dakota PA program. Insert coyote joke here. What was the joke? Oh, I guess I like coyotes more than jackrabbits. All right, moving on. Since graduating from PA school in December 2013, Kayla has been working in family medicine at Coal Country Community Health Center in Beulah, North Dakota. Just last year in 2023, Kayla was awarded the UND PA Program Preceptor of the Year Award, having received numerous accolades from her students and for her commitment to PA clinical education. Kayla is married to her husband, Steve, and they have 3 children, Emma, Adeline, and Luke. On top of her duties as a PA, a preceptor, and a mother, Kayla has dedicated countless hours to the North Dakota Academy of PAs, advocating for PAs and the patients we serve. Please give a warm welcome to Kayla Olson.
Well, I can't tell you what an honor it is to be here today, and I'm so thankful and grateful for this opportunity. I have to be honest, the last couple of months I've been a little bit nostalgic about it because I'm at that 10-year milestone mark for it. And just in January, I'm celebrating that 10-year working PA thing. You'll get there, I promise. Yeah. When I received the email from Dr. McHugo about coming to speak to you guys today, I thought back to my own white coat ceremony, and we did a little different. Like, we got to campus and we had our intro stuff, and we had our white coat ceremony right away, right before we started everything. So it's a little bit of a different scenario for me. But I was just so grateful for for it, and just I'm glad to be here. Every single opportunity I've been given since starting PA school, and because of this profession, has just been amazing. It's been an amazing road. The opportunities, the education I've received, and continue to receive on a daily basis, the contacts I've made, the places I have seen, and the growth that I have done professionally and personally, as well as the humility I have learned, are just a few of the things I'm most grateful for and proud of. Opportunity is defined as a set of circumstances that make it possible to do something. Opportunity is one of my favorite things. Opportunity is one of the things that I think most of you here awaiting your white coat, whether you realize it or not, is something you work for every day. The road to PA school is not an easy one, but you made it. A specific timetable and series of events made this opportunity available for you today. Spoiler alert, PA school isn't easy either. When I was pondering about what to say to you today, again, I thought back to what our program director said to us at our PA school, or our white coat ceremony, which is actually a little bit of a white lie because he spent most of the time addressing our family and our friends and our loved ones there. He said that a PA school is a sacrifice. The gist of his talk was that the next 2 to 3 years was going to be a sacrifice of family time, events, social gatherings that may be missed, and time away from loved ones. Studying for exams, hours that needed to be fulfilled, deadlines for assignments that need to be met are real stressors. They are a reality that need to be a top priority. I think that most of my classmates knew that we were going to be in the trenches. However, like I said, our PA program director wasn't necessarily addressing us. He was addressing our family and our friends, our support. PA school is an opportunity to learn not only about the human body, not only about the normal versus the abnormal. It's not only about learning how to evaluate heart sounds, lung sounds, and how to determine which diagnostic studies are needed to rule in or out your differential diagnoses. It is about learning about yourself, learning to do the hard, learning to think on your feet, learning how to juggle life, and learning how to rely on your support, the people here in this room sitting here for you who are incredibly proud of where you're sitting today. When I talk about PA school, I rarely say that I went through PA school. I always say we. I say we because I was married for just over 2 years when I started PA school. We had an infant at the time, and we moved a state away from our family and our friends. There were events that were missed, tears that were shed, and hard times because it was just that, hard times. There were calls home when our loved ones were gathered, when we couldn't be a part of it. Life doesn't stop during PA school, and it is a little tricky to take a day of vacation. By the time PA school was done, my daughter was fluent in asking the question every night, "How many patients do you have to log tonight, Mom?" Whereas my younger two now ask me, "How many charts do you have to do, Mom?" It's always more than I care to say. This is where your opportunity lies. Your opportunity to lean on others, to ask for help, to ask for the good vibes, prayers, pep talks, whatever it is you need. This is where your opportunity lies to learn about yourself, where you really figure out time management, where you learn opportunity to really identify what is important and to make those sacrifices for your professional career. The circumstances that fall are going to lead to opportunity, and even in the trenches of PA school, there is beauty in this. The next 1.5 years is going to set you up for some amazing opportunities. You're going to be able to given the opportunity to learn that normal, because you can't learn abnormal until you've mastered the normal. You're going to be given the opportunity to learn from some of the best. You're going to be exposed to PAs and other providers who have been working for years to try to master the art of medicine. You're going to be given the opportunity to learn the good things to do, and almost probably more importantly, some instances where you learn what not to do. You're going to be given the opportunity to take a peek into professional relationships. Whether you know it or not, you will likely be walking into the middle of a very long-term relationship between the provider you're working with and their nurse, medical assistant, CNA, or equivalent title. I've been with my nurse for 10 years. She knows what I'm thinking and oftentimes what I'm wanting before I want it. You'll be given the opportunity to watch and learn the expected roles in these positions, and not just nursing staff, clinic staff, administration, lab, x-ray, therapy departments. You will learn that, again, you can ask for help and use the people around you to make the best decisions and best choices for the patient's care that you are given the opportunity to be a part of. You're going to be given the opportunity to take the lead, take the history, do the exam, decide what to do to figure out what this person in front of you needs or would benefit from. Because in the blink of an eye, that opportunity changes. You're going to have that opportunity to learn from the preceptors, but it's going to be gone. It's going to be you making those decisions. It'll be your turn. It'll be your opportunity to be the professional. You are the one that is going to be given the opportunity to be there when that someone has a positive pregnancy test and you get to listen to heart tones with that new mom for the first time. A little plug here for family medicine, and when I was practicing on the way, my husband said, "You can tell you do a lot of women's health," so I'm sorry about that. But I said, you get to take care of that mama while she carries that baby. And you get to take care of that mama's little girls and that baby's big sisters who are so excited for that baby to come. And you also get to take care of that baby when that baby comes. And it might be a boy then. You get to take care of the grandma who maybe just lost her husband and needs something to really look forward to. And you get to kind of smile on the inside because you know there's really something to look forward to. And if you're really lucky, which I am in a number of situations, you might get to take care of great grandma, who comes in just because she needs her med refills and really doesn't want to make any changes or do anything that you want to tell her to do. But she really wants to just talk about all those people that we just talked about. You have the opportunity to just sit back and smile because you are part of something that's so great. You're given the opportunity to be a part of people's lives, and sometimes the most vulnerable of times, and help them make the right decisions for them and their family members. You are given a part to be a part of that family from the outside looking in. This is huge, it's heavy, and these types of stories and reality is in your future, and it's humbling, and it's an incredible honor. You're going to be given the opportunity to not only be there in those good times, but also in the times that are incredibly scary. Vulnerability is the worst possible scenario, and patients are in that scenario every time they are sitting in an exam room, whether it be for good or bad. Sometimes those most vulnerable times is a woman who has felt a breast lump, and she didn't come in for 2 months because she's scared of what those results might be. You're going to be given the opportunity to use that knowledge that you're learning right now, but you're also going to be given the opportunity to take advantage of those non-academic skills you learned about getting through tough times. You are going to be given the opportunity to work under pressure, to stay composed, and to make those decisions to help your patients through that time, because you know what those hard times are like. You know what it is to rely on support. You know support is needed because the people in this room supporting you here today gave you the support you needed when you needed it most. You're also going to be given the opportunity to not be perfect. Medicine is an art. This means that each scenario is unique. There are all the algorithms in the world. There are all the guidelines in the world. There is all the data in the world that tells you to treat A with B, C with D, treat X with Y. Treat this with that in this situation, and in the other situation, X, Y, and Z. I'm here to say it doesn't always work. And that's okay. There will be mistakes. These are some of the best opportunities because you often learn the most. There are going to be opportunities where a patient looks at you and you get to be honest and say, you know what? I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but we're going to figure it out together. As these white coats are presented to you today, you are all going to be given same opportunities. You're going to be given the opportunity to stand out. Whether or not you know it, no matter where you go, what specialty of medicine you find yourself, you're going to be given the opportunity to be a trusted and respected member of a community. Whether that's a small town in North Dakota where there are 500 people, and everyone knows your name, number, life history, and your uncle's brother's cousin, or whether you work for a healthcare system who has thousands of employees and you don't pass the same people every day in the hallway. The white coat presented to you today opens that door to countless opportunities. Opportunity to be a leader in your profession, opportunity to be a leader of people, an opportunity to shine. There is no turning back. After today, you are held to a higher standard. You are given the opportunity to hold yourself to that higher standard because you are in charge of the care of the most precious gift this world has to offer. You have the opportunity to care for human life, to more than likely save human life. Be kind with it, treasure it. Be kind with yourselves and give yourselves grace. Opportunity is defined as a set of circumstances that makes it possible to do something. I'd like to challenge you all today by changing that just slightly and take the next set of circumstances presented to you and make it possible to do something great. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow, what a perfect message and a timely message. Resonates well with some earlier discussions, yes? Yes, thank you. The members of the class of 2025 will benefit today from the Adopt a PA Student program. Based on similar programs for other students in the School of Medicine and Health Sciences, donors provide professional white coats for PA students who are about to begin their clinical experiences. In the pocket of each white coat is a note from the donor or a donor card. In addition to their name tags and white coats today, students will also be receiving a lapel pin from the School of Medicine and Health Sciences, a pocket pen, and a reference card for their coat pocket, which summarizes the full history and physical exam. Later in the month, students will be invited to join the North Dakota Academy of PAs and will receive medical resources, welcoming them into the profession from the Academy as well. At this time, I'd like Professors Russ Kaufman and Julie Solberg to come assist with the presentation of the white coats.
All right, class of 2026, 2025. We like you that much, we're going to keep you a little longer. UND can use your tuition, thank you. No, but we invite you guys to come on up on stage and line up in the proper order here. And all right, I think they're all ready now. First up, we have Jace Baker from Cedar City, Minnesota. Congratulations. Yeah. Josie Benzie from Sturgeon Lake, Minnesota. Dylan Bone from Fargo, North Dakota. Kendra Bohm from Grand Forks, North Dakota. Good job. Elaine Brecky from Warren, Minnesota. Rachel Brothers from St. Cloud, Minnesota. Megan Bryn from Fargo, North Dakota. Clara Berkman from Eagan, Minnesota. Ellie Fisher from Hamel, Minnesota. Yes. Paige Fritz from Fargo, North Dakota. Carly Gilbertson from Lisbon, North Dakota. Grace Groney from Hawley, Minnesota. Sarah Herman from Fargo, North Dakota. Kimberly Hinkle from West Fargo, North Dakota. Ben Hinkle from Bozeman, Montana. Save some syllables. That's good. Mary Janke from Perham, Minnesota. Clay Johnson from Mapleton, North Dakota. Okay. Madeline Kennedy from Pipestone, Minnesota. Alex Lang from Avon, Minnesota. Maya Lee from Dilworth, Minnesota. Todd Marchand from Stevensville, Montana. Pictures. Jackie Matson from Verndale, Minnesota. Sean McClary from Middletown, Indiana. Cassidy Mindeman from Grand Forks, North Dakota. Hometown crowd. Abby Oliver from Minot, North Dakota. I still wanted to say it. Brianna Peterson from Laurel, Montana. Evie Reynolds from Minot, North Dakota. Jordan Saxerud from Lisbon, North Dakota. McKenna Taylor from Valley City, North Dakota. Hannah Yulvin from West Fargo, North Dakota. Mackenzie Weiss from South Haven, Minnesota. Nathan Young from East Grand Forks, Minnesota. Todd, you weren't the only one. And last but certainly not least, Debbie Zabel from Bismarck, North Dakota.
Let's give these fine young men and women another round of applause. And now Professor Vicki Anvik will come on up and lead us in the recitation of the PA Professional Oath.
I'd like to invite the class to stand up, and any PAs in the audience, if you'd like to stand and recite it with us as well. Are we ready? I pledge to perform the following duties with honesty and dedication. I will hold as my primary responsibility the health, safety, and welfare and dignity of all human beings. I will uphold the tenets of patient autonomy, beneficence, non-maleficence, and justice. I will recognize and promote the value of diversity. I will treat equally all persons who seek my care. I will hold in confidence the information shared in the course of practicing medicine. I will assess my personal capabilities and limitations, striving always to improve my medical practice. I will work with other members of the healthcare team to provide compassionate and effective care of patients. I will use my knowledge and experience to contribute to an improved community. I will respect my professional relationship with the physician. I will share and expand knowledge within the profession. These duties are pledged with sincerity and upon my honor.
I'd like to invite Dr. Dave Relling to the podium for some closing remarks. Dr. Relling serves as our Associate Dean for Health Sciences at the School of Medicine and Health Sciences. Dr. Relling.
Thank you, Dr. McHugo. Good afternoon. It's wonderful to be here and celebrate with the students, the faculty, the staff, and then also with your numerous family and friends that are here today. I want to congratulate the physician assistant class of 2025 for accomplishing their initial phase of their education and also their entrance into the profession, marked by the white coat that you received today. You have chosen a field that is highly valued, very rigorous, and exceptionally rewarding. And you passed your first test just by contorting and somehow getting into the coat this afternoon. I also want to thank you for choosing UND's Masters of Physician Assistant Studies. The department faculty and staff are dedicated and they're highly valued members of the school. They provide an outstanding educational program incorporating their wide variety of expertise, and they provide excellent student outcomes. It's an exciting time in healthcare. Technological advances have moved things like diagnostic ultrasound from a large device in a central area to your pocket and connected to your smartphone. Tremendous amounts of clinical research and practice guidelines will be as closely available to you as the nearest electronic device, whether that be your phone, a laptop, or some sort of iPad device. And now we have artificial intelligence, machine learning, and ChatGPT. We are at the very beginning of understanding how the role of AI will play in healthcare. And as exciting as those innovations are, we cannot forget the patient-practitioner personal interaction. And I think our guest speaker, Kayla, did a wonderful job of representing that and giving us some great examples today. Because as primary care providers, you will have the opportunity to build strong connections to the communities and the patients that you serve. Patients will come to you worried, hurting, and vulnerable. Your knowledge and technological skills will be very important, but your empathy and your human interaction will have a tremendous impact on those patients and their outcomes. As you go out into the clinical experience, I just have a couple things. So remember that you're an integral part of the interprofessional healthcare team, and realize that your clinical preceptor, faculty, and really everybody here wants to see you succeed. We're here to support and encourage your growth and development as outstanding clinicians. We are all very proud of you, and we know that you will fulfill your oath and represent UND and the physician assistant profession extremely well. Congratulations.
I'd also like to invite Dr. Eric Johnson to say a few words of closing as well. Dr. Johnson is an associate professor and medical director of the PA program with the School of Medicine and Health Sciences. Dr. Johnson.
Thank you, Dr. McHugo. It's such an honor to serve as part of your education, and it's so great to see so many family and friends here today to celebrate this important event. The white coat ceremony really does represent a transition from preclinical to clinical years, and it's an important milestone that we've all discussed and touched upon today. But it's more than a symbolic rite of passage. It's a tangible and very real reminder of your duties that you will undertake for patients in your own practice. White coat ceremony actually began back in the 80s, back when I was in my training a long time ago at the University of Chicago and Columbia University, and has been adopted by numerous health programs ever since. We're proud to have you wearing your white coat for the University of North Dakota today, and you will go on to graduation and practice sooner than you think. It may seem like it's a long time while you're in it, but it'll be here soon. Healthcare has undergone unprecedented change in the last 4 years. I've been doing this for a long time, and I've never seen anything like it. Dr. Relling just talked about artificial intelligence and things that are happening, but it's still a people-first thing as a profession. And all of these things are important tools for us to care for our patients more effectively. I want this white coat to serve as an anchor and a reminder for you that the patient comes first. And Dr. Nelson talked about professionalism. We should always be professional in all of our endeavors. You will no doubt see further advances that will be incredible. If you work as long as I have, you'll work into the 2050s. Think about that for a moment. But from this point forward, I hope that you will remember our time together today and reflect upon the importance of your white coat and your journey in your education and patient care going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. As we prepare to close today, we would ask that students process out the main entrance for a group photo. Family and friends are welcome to take photos after our photographer has completed her series of photos. All are welcome to join us for light refreshments, which are also in the main entrance. In closing, my sincere congratulations to all of the PA students here today, all of their families and friends. This really is a team effort. As Kayla talked about in her We Completed PA School, there's so much truth to that, the sacrifices that are made on the families and friends as well. As you begin the clinical phase of your education, remember that growth doesn't begin until you step out of your comfort zone. And you may have done that in May, when you left something familiar to come into something unfamiliar. Now you've become familiar with the School of Medicine and Health Sciences, and you're stepping into another unfamiliar, the clinical setting. You've joined in a wild ride adventure, an exciting adventure. Grab a hold of the opportunities and welcome the challenges ahead. Rely on one another, your classmates, your colleagues, your preceptors, your family and your friends, all of us in support of you here today. As you move through the clinical experiences, touching the lives of numerous patients, take advantage of every moment to learn, ask good questions, and each time you put on your white coat, remember the words stated in the professional oath and the actions behind those words as a moral compass of professional integrity to truly make a difference in the lives of your patients. My sincere congratulations to all of you here today. We are proud of you, and we look forward to working alongside of you, serving the primary care needs of your communities. Congratulations, and thank you to all for coming. Okay, we can process out for the photo.